Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Island Church Weekly Podcast. I am joined, as ever, by the one Reverend Dr. Pastor Will McRaney. How's it going today, friend?
It's good to be with you, Matt. It's beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Great days on the island. Had some great conversations with people. It's just a lot of
Yeah, I'm
things going
excited
really
about
well. And so it's
that.
just good to have a conversation. The people
Yeah.
probably missed us last week.
They did. I was out all last week at actually a really great conference. So I'll share a quick update on that called Missio Nexus over in Orlando. It is the largest gathering of mission sending organizations that come together every single year to essentially come up with sharing best practices, innovative ways that they're sharing the gospel, both in the
Good.
United States, but also across the globe. So you'll have people like InterVarsity and Campus Crusade for Christ and Jews for Jesus and Pioneers, and all these incredible church planting, mission sending organizations that all gather together to share best practices and say, hey, how are we going to reach the world with the good news of Jesus? So just anytime you're around leaders like that who are thinking about how to get the gospel to the unreached peoples or to the people who are de-churched or unchurched, it's just super encouraging, and some great stories coming out of the work being done, some crazy innovative work being done that just blows me away when you see the scale that they're operating at. Yeah, it was just an encouragement to know that even while we do church every Sunday and we proclaim the gospel locally, there are people that, even some of our tithes and offerings like help fund a lot of, missions kind of work, that there is awesome work being done globally, even that we get to be part of, even in just small ways. So very, very encouraging time for sure.
Good word. Good. Thanks for sharing
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That was
sometimes
just for free. That was an extra one. Why don't we just start in with what we usually talk about, which is how was Sunday at Island Church?
it was another good Sunday. We continued in the series of the questions, powerful questions of Jesus, and he used questions and he answered questions in just the most powerful way. And one thing that people really miss and long for, and that is dialogue, and that sometimes COVID took us away and the internet takes us away. And it's really important to look at, the reason I'm doing this series is to look at how Jesus had conversations with people and what he talked about and how he answered questions and how he used questions, because that can really be helpful to us. And so this is what we talked about. Really, what does it mean to follow Jesus? How did Jesus respond to the cost of following him, or the commitment necessary of following him? And so I just encourage you, good bit of feedback of this, very positive this past week's. Music was encouraging, uplifting as well. And I think we just counted up on Sunday, and we had a little meeting afterwards on related to the building. I think we could name about 10 guests that we had with us. So
It's amazing.
that was really good.
Yeah, we're back in
We're going to
guest
need
season.
people to help us with connections, one out front, and two following up with people. Just maybe it's just a text message, or a brief conversation. Just tell them we're glad that they join us. But people need a touch. I know that people want a little anonymity sometimes when they engage in the life of the church, but they also need touch. We're really missing that, not just in our church, but in terms of people across the U.S. and particularly with some of the turmoil and the unrest and those kinds of things. People need just a human touch. And so I want to tell our people, you do a great job at this. We just want to even do better at this. So it was a good Sunday. Good Sunday for us.
Awesome. Well, that's great news. Yeah, it seems like we're in peak season for guests, and college students are back, and people are kind of back into somewhat normal rhythms after the summer. And so yeah, just great to see that growth momentum keeping going. Pastor Will, what's coming up that folks need to know about in the life of the church?
Well, we've got coming up in October, we've got our trunk or treat. This is a great opportunity for us to connect with people in the community right here on the island. We see people, some of them we developed a relationship with, but particularly in light of our whole coming building and our missions outreach, our ministry outreach to children and families and all of that, it really is important for us to be available and use our cars, the back of our cars, and decorate them up. And it really is big fun. And we do a little bit of food. And so we would encourage you, if you want to participate in that, you could see Marcia Fox. If you'll, I'll bring my car up there. We'll open up the trunk and we'll do it. And maybe somebody will even help you with decorating it. But it's always a big fun. Actually, it gives you a chance to our people get to know each other better, because they see each other on Sunday mornings or maybe sometime during the week. But this is a good opportunity. It's really a building kind of cohesiveness among our church family. And then as well, we get to reach out to our community. That's the primary purpose. Jesus did all kinds of things to touch all types of people. I mean, we preached recently and he met Nicodemus at night. It's not like, hey, let's just turn on light switches. I mean, everything at night took more effort and energy. And so Jesus kind of engaged on the level of the people. We can use Redeem Halloween and turn it for the gospel purposes. course, there's Halloween's even connected to All Saints. It's got a little different history than what people think it does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we want to do this as a ministry. So that's coming up. And then on November 9th, we have our annual church picnics, kind of in conjunction with Thanksgiving. Some of our people will be back that some are away. And then certainly anybody that's that comes, if they want to take an early winter this year, come on down for the picnic.
Yeah.
So November 9th, we do that out at Fort DeSoto. And also we do with that, if we have someone that needs to be baptized, we celebrate in baptism together. I actually had a conversation with a young woman yesterday that's newer to our church, going to be baptizing her on November 9th, maybe another person that's connected to her. So maybe there's people out there that said, I followed Jesus. I've been following him, but I haven't followed him in baptism, or haven't followed him in believer's baptism, since I give my life to Christ. And so we would invite you to have a conversation with us about that. So October 31st, big day. November 9th. And keep staying tuned. We're going to keep having more news related to our building. That was our meeting on Sunday in terms of our whole ministry. And it won't be long. We're going to be breaking some ground out here. So thanks for our people. We want to thank our people for their giving to this. I also want to give a little warning or a little caution or just reminder to people that part of us being able to, if we need to finance part of this, part of that will be determined by our offerings and the percentage of our fixed budget that we're using. And so I would just caution someone to not just take your tithes and offerings and push it toward the building. We actually need the tithes and offerings to do our basic operations here, taking care of the things, kind of like the tithe was used in the Old Testament times there, and probably in the New Testament as well. And then the building offering is a separate kind of thing. And so just encourage you towards those things, just as a reminder, because both of our commitments towards the future and our commitments now, keeping our commitments now, is really going to matter as well. So
yeah, that's a great reminder of kind of the purpose of it all and where we're going with everything. Okay, so I know there's some updates to share, but also want to wrap that in with ways that folks can be praying for the church this week as they kind of are going.
We continue to have these guests, and I would encourage people to continue to pray about their place of service. Part of our following Jesus, where we really grow, is when we follow him. When our identity becomes in him, our identity with our church family. We have people in our church that need you. We need, and then you need them. And so I would encourage you to make your engagement with the life of our church, a high priority. And then you make it part of your prayer life that we've got guests that need to be followed up with. Some of them are going to know Jesus. Some of them are not going to likely know Jesus. And we get to be God's hands and feet with that. So just continue to pray for our guests, pray for our community, pray for our nation. They can continue to do that. But in terms of more locally, pray for us and the leadership here. And then, Matt, we had some unexpected news that we want to pray regarding Stacy and her family. And it's a prayer concern for them and a prayer concern for us. And what I want to share with you is, in unexpected news, Stacy came by to let me know that she would no longer be working for us. And we're grateful. Stacy's been with us here several years. We're grateful for the various ways Stacy has contributed to our church family, the various smiles, the many smiles that she shared with us, and the ways that she has touched us and helped our church family. So we're very grateful for her. And we wish nothing but the best for she and Jake and the children. And as we move forward, we want to both kind of fill a gap. You and I have been working through a little bit of that. We want to fill in the gap, and somebody maybe can say, if I can help in some way, I'll be happy to do so. So we're looking for that. We're also now on an active search, or will be now on an active search for someone to help us on the administrative side and kind of be an upfront person for the life of our church in terms of greeting people, engaging with them out front. So we're looking for a person to fill that role in a full-time way. So if you have someone that you want to recommend or you want to pass that along, you certainly can do that. But it's unexpected news to us, but we certainly wish Stacy and them and her family the very, very best, and pray God's blessings upon them.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing that, Pastor Will. I know anytime news like that comes up, it's something that folks, it's unexpected, and that's okay. And I would just echo your sentiment. Grateful for the work that Stacy's done and just what a part she's been of the team, but also just grateful for what God's up to next. And we know that God's got a plan for everything and is working that towards the good. And so we're really, really excited about what we're stepping into for the future. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Pastor Will, today. Thanks for giving us the updates and everything. Hopefully people are glad that we're back. We were out last week, but we're back again, back to our normal schedule. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you on Sunday and see you back here next week on the Island Church Weekly Podcast.